This phone is the reason I'm here in Shenzhen, so I thought I would just go ahead and open it for you on camera. It has some pretty decent specs, and as you can see, this one here comes with USB Type-C. So let's go ahead and get this unpacked. There's some plastic on the back there we'll go ahead and take off, as well as some plastic on the front. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Here's that flat white back. It's a glossy back. You've got the rear facing camera. On the right hand side you have the power button and the volume rocker. On the left hand side you have your SIM card slot. On the bottom you have that USB Type-C port with one bottom facing speaker and microphone. On the top you have your 3.5mm headphone jack and nothing else. And then you have the front, which if I remember correctly is a 1080p 5.5-inch display. Let's go ahead and power it on. Now at this event, ZUK did announce the partnership that they're doing with Cyanogen, so they're actually going to be offering Cyanogen as an offering on one of the international models of this device. Unfortunately, this is not the one that has Cyanogen on it, so that's a little bit disappointing, but it could be worse. Now looking at it from an angle, I can kind of see it looks like there is a screen protector on this already. You can sort of see it around the button here at the bottom and around the earpiece as well. While this is booting up, because it's taken a little longer than expected, let's see what else comes in the box. And of course, right as I do that, it wakes up. Anyway, moving on. Here's your power adapter. This unfortunately is a European power adapter, so not useful for me, but it does mention it does 5 volts at 2 amps. Here is what appear to be a USB cable. Yes, a flat USB Type-C cable, about 3 foot long, almost a meter, and it is USB Type-C, as you can see there. And then down here should be some product documentation, as well as the SIM card ejector tool. Lenovo ZUK Quick Start Guide. And there's some warranty guide information, certificate. But we'll go ahead and push all that off to the side and go back to the phone now. Now, I do see an immediate problem here, and maybe you can see it as well. It's all in Chinese, and I don't speak or read Chinese, so we're gonna have to guess at this. All right, it's trying to set up the Wi-Fi. So I'll go ahead and hit that. And it wants me to sign in. All right, we should be signed in at this point. So we can hit next. I'm guessing that says next. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over that, whatever that is. This is the, I would guess, the fingerprint sensor setup. If I remember correctly, I think this is the fingerprint sensor down here, and that just took it back. We're going to skip over this. We're going to skip over the fingerprint setup, because really I need to get to where I can set the language. Now luckily I did see somebody in the car set this up earlier, so I kind of know where it is and where to go. So I'm going to come down here. This is the advanced settings option. This should be the language, and this should be where I change it to English, and I'm now able to actually read things. So I can change the keyboard over to use the Android AOSP keyboard, or I can use the one that came built in. Just very quickly, we'll go in and see what version of Android this is running. You can see here it mentions the model number is the ZUK Z1, Qualcomm, lots of numbers there, basically Qualcomm Snapdragon 801, 64 gigs of built-in storage, 3 gigs of RAM, Android version 5.1.1, and apparently that does not work. That's very interesting. Anyway, we'll go back out. It says the battery level is 47%, but I believe this supports Quick Charge 2.0, so I may have to try it with a quick charger. And from here you can do all of your settings. There's U-Touch. Now I started to mention earlier, I don't think I actually mentioned it. It doesn't have any on-screen buttons. It doesn't have any capacitive buttons. The device itself, I think, has capacitive buttons that will be enabled when Cyanogen comes out for this device, but by default it has U-Touch. So you use the button here to do everything. So basically you can do fingerprint identification, you can do a touch to go back, press to go home, double press to view your app history, and slide left or right to swap. Touch to go back. There you go. Touch to go back, and we're back at our home screen. Now unfortunately this is one of the ROMs that does not come with a built-in app launcher, but oh well, here are all your apps that you do come with. And then there's some more that are not in English. And you've got QQ and WeChat and Weibo, a lot of the services you'd use here in China. So I don't have any real initial impressions of this device because I've only been touching it for about 30 seconds now. But if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see about it in particular, let me know down in the comment section below. When Cyanogen does become available for this, I'll probably be flashing it over to this device. And unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to use this in the States because I don't believe it supports any sort of 4G bands there. Probably just HSPA, maybe only 3G, I don't know. So it's not going to be particularly useful for that. But one way or another, thanks so much to ZUK for bringing me out here and giving me a chance to take a look at this.